Kuzan, also known as the artist formerly known as Aokiji, Master of Eyes, Rocker of Shades, and the winner of the Most Likeable Admiral Award on Marine Monthly. I think out of all the Marines, Kuzan is theorized the most. He's not as straightforward as other Marines, his morality is complex, and when you can give a Kainu a run for your money by fighting him for 10 days, you tend to gather attention. But rather than my other videos where I tried finding a weakness to the admirals, I want to try a different subject. We could talk all day about Kuzan's devil fruit, his haki, or even his bike, but what I want to call into question is his story role. In a nutshell, Part 1 Kuzan was a likable dick. He wouldn't try to flat out kill you due to a shared moral code with Jaguar D. Saul and others, but that doesn't mean you get to leave him alone without a few bruises. We thought we knew his character pretty well when Part 1 came to an end, but then Akainu became Fleet Admiral. Now we learned that while he still has a soft spot for old comrades, Kuzan at the end of the day joined Blackbeard, a man whose endgame might be submerging the world in darkness and taking over said world.
Of course!
But what compelled Kuzan to join Blackbeard? What is he going to do in the future? Is he a villain, anti-hero, hero in general? Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's see if we can thaw out this chilling mystery. Curse these puns to hell! Now, in order to answer the questions I asked earlier, we have to go back to the past and sort of review the facts. After the Marineford War, Sengoku wanted to resign as Fleet Admiral and give the position to Kuzan. Now, these two characters do have a couple similarities, mainly that both of them have the right sense of justice. They'll gladly fight for the common good, but they've also realized that the government isn't exactly clean on their part. But they had to work for them, because if you openly fought against the government code, you won't likely make it to retirement. And there's also the fact that both of them have allowed pirates to do their thing when necessary. Going back to the promotion, however, due to Akainu's contribution during the war, aka slaughter by lava, many top officials wanted Akainu to be the next man in charge. Kuzan thought that was a bad idea, I wonder why. So the only logical way to settle this was a fight to the death. Kuzan lost his leg, Akainu lost some of his perfect skin, but Kuzan was able to survive the battle even though he lost. After that, Kuzan left the Marines to do his own thing. The main reason he left, in my opinion, is because of his sense of justice. Kuzan seems to have a moral code or humanity in his actions, but Akainu is like a ruthless hound that'll hunt your kind to extinction. So if you had to work for that same hound that, by the way, literally crippled you, I would understand completely if you wanted to leave. And the next thing we know is that Kuzan left the Marines and made it into Blackbeard's crew. So now that we're at the present, let's try to figure out why Kuzan joined Blackbeard. When it comes to this topic, some believe that Kuzan joined Blackbeard because it's a secret stealth mission for the government. I don't think that's the case though. When Luffy beat Doflamingo, we got to see Akainu have a verbal affair with the Gorosei. And when Kuzan is brought up in the conversation, it's made clear that Akainu as well as the government has cut off all ties to him. Now remember, this is the Gorosei. As the practical rulers of the world, they know how the world works more than most people. It's implied that they have full knowledge of the Void Century and the potential and/or threats of other people. If Kuzan was really working for the government, then the Gorosei would have known or even sanctioned the mission in the first place. However, since it was the Gorosei that brought up Kuzan in the conversation, it seems their frustration at the ex-admiral is real. So I have to rule out secret Marine agent Kuzan. Now when it comes to the next possible allegiance, many use these two Kuzan quotes as their proof. From the day I joined, I never held the world government in high esteem. I can make an impact and influence matters without the veil of the Marines. They say the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, in my case, it actually is. And the second quote is from the anime. There are things I could do now without belonging to the Navy. There are things I see now because I'm not a part of the Navy. Now there are two sides to this argument. The first side is that Kuzan actually became a pirate and learned how to live his life as one. In most stories, it's common for a rejected top official to become either a shell of his former self or turn himself into the thing that he fought against. In Kuzan's case, that might have happened when he met Blackbeard. Now in SBS Volume 82, it was revealed that Blackbeard's hobby was historical research. The more I think about it, that explains a few things, but anyway, this could be seen as the reason Kuzan joined him. It's possible that Blackbeard learned the dark history of the Marines on his end. and used that knowledge to recruit Kuzan into his ranks. Following that, Blackbeard could have convinced Kuzan that the only way to have real justice in the world is for Blackbeard's age to come, and let him do what he wants. And while that is entirely possible, I just can't support it 100%. Kuzan has proven that he values life. He may have disagreed with the Navy, but there were times when we realized he stayed because of other factors. But now, he's unshackled. Kuzan could do anything he wanted and not be restricted. I think it's obvious that Kuzan knew what Blackbeard did to others and what he was capable of. He used lies, manipulation, and backstabbing, literally, to get where he is today. If continued with no opposition, Blackbeard might kill many more innocents and comrades before having the world he dreams about. So the dividing question to Kuzan is this: did he join Blackbeard because he abandoned all of his values? We've seen him care for others on his own time, so he couldn't have joined Blackbeard out of a common interest or goal. It's understandable why Blackbeard's own crew doesn't trust Kuzan suddenly joining their ranks. But wait, if he didn't join Blackbeard because he turned into a pirate, then why did he? This brings us to option number 2, Kuzan became a revolutionary. If you follow theories, you might have heard this topic already, but I am in favor of this one. It makes sense on almost every aspect. The two quotes about finding justice on the other side could link Kuzan to finding a common goal with the revolutionaries. And who better to show him that common goal than Monkey D. Dragon? If a high-ranking official left the Marines because of a conflict in justice and ethical issues, then how could Dragon pass up an opportunity like that? He could have sought Kuzan out and show him the revolutionary side of justice. A side that fights for the people and isn't afraid to expose secrecy, something that the government nowadays isn't exactly excelling at. Besides, it's not the first time Dragon got a strong figure to join his cause. Just look at Kuma or someone as strange as Ivankov. Dracule Mihawk commented once that Luffy's true power came from getting others to join him. It's possible that Luffy got that trait from his father. It's part of why Dragon is so dangerous. He makes people stand up and fight against a government that rules the world. If anyone could convince Kuzan to take up that role, it had to be someone like Dragon. But wait, I hear you all typing on your keyboards. If Kuzan's a revolutionary, then how is he a part of Blackbeard's crew now? Wouldn't Kuzan have helped his allies during the attack on Dragon's HQ? Exposing him as an agent that would get him killed? Or is it possible that the attack against the revolutionaries was the perfect chance for Kuzan to gain Blackbeard's trust? So to make sense of all of this, allow me to share a possible timeline. After the war and during the time skip, Akainu became fleet admiral and Kuzan left the Marines. Once he left, Dragon recruited him to the revolutionaries, becoming involved as an underworld agent. After all, Kuzan is well known around the world, so he can't exactly become a secret agent like Koala. At least not yet in the context of this theory. So to convince the world he has fallen, Kuzan involved himself with the underworld, as Smoker and Doflamingo implied after the Punk Hazard arc. But at the same time, Kuzan would report his underworld findings to Dragon to continue revolutionary plans. Once that phase was complete, Kuzan would be tasked to infiltrate the Yonko Blackbeard's crew and report any dangerous activity. So why was Blackbeard chosen? He's the most immediate threat to the world. Dragon may be in a fight against the government, but he'd be an idiot to ignore the rise in momentum of Blackbeard. The man has risen to infamy in only a few years, and at his current pace, the world just might be his. As for the others, Shanks is a trustworthy Yonko. Big Mom and Kaido might be wild cards, but at least they kept the bounds of the world in check. If anyone demands the secret attention of the revolutionaries, it's Blackbeard. He's far too dangerous to ignore as a pirate. So sometime near the end of the time skip or early on in the second half of One Piece, Kuzan joined Blackbeard, acting as a crew member, but in reality a revolutionary spy. There may have been suspicion with Blackbeard's crew, but how could Blackbeard say no to this? In his eyes, Kuzan was just a fallen marine with no place to go. Having an ex-admiral on his side only makes Blackbeard more powerful than before. However, there's still mistrust. It would remain that way until the final point of this theory's timeline. Blackbeard finds and destroys Revolutionary HQ. If there was ever a time to get Blackbeard's trust, this was Kuzan's chance. Now, while we don't know the specifics of that battle, I want to say that Kuzan probably contributed as best as he could. He put on a show for Blackbeard, but during the chaos, Kuzan would also try to help his allies escape. After all, this wouldn't be the first time he's helped people escape from homes that were under attack. So once the attack was over, Cusan would most likely have earned Blackbeard's full respect. And from here on out, I can only assume that Cusan still sends secret reports to Dragon, but as a full-fledged member of Blackbeard's crew. Cusan may not be an official member of Justice anymore, but at least this way he has a chance to fight for it in his own way. By the time the final arc comes around, or whenever Luffy has to deal with Blackbeard, I think that's when Cusan reveals his true colors. So all in all, I believe that Cusan is a revolutionary that spies on Blackbeard, so that Dragon and the world, for that matter, can be prepared for whatever Blackbeard does next. He may not be liked by the world that much anymore, but so long as the world is protected, I don't think Cusan cares that much for reputation. It fits his character, he just wants to do the right thing. It only took him a while to be on the right side of it. What do you all think? Do you agree, disagree, where and what is Cusan doing now? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and be sure to check out the description for all credits, and I will see all of you legends in the next video. Take care.